Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 10 Japanese destroyer Shimakaze. It has 6 127mm guns, 15 torpedoes, 33 AA defense rating, a surface detect of 5.9 kilometers, top speed, 39 knots, total health 21,900. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main armament, improved accuracy, faster torpedo rearm, lower chance of flood and fire, improved acceleration, concealment. For my commander, situation awareness, basic firing training, faster torpedo rearm, faster torpedo acceleration, improved ship survivability, and concealment again. We're on the map Shatter, and this is a game that is not on the current patch, 0.5.8. It was recorded a day before the patch came out. This is 0.5.7, and it was recorded the same day as my super carry in the Soviet cruiser Chapayev. And I was really conflicted. Which one should I share first? They're both that amazing. And that's all I'm going to tease about this game. Hopefully you enjoy it. The only things you're not going to get from 0.5.8 is the Japanese commander audio or the damage counter in the top right. And I know those are cool. I am 100% on board with you, but hopefully the game will speak for itself. Hopefully you enjoy it. And yes, this is how I would build my Shimakaze in the current patch, 0.5.8. It didn't touch torpedoes, destroyers, the Shimakaze at all. A lot of 0.5.8 was audio and UI changes. And that's great because that means they are liking the direction that the module changes went. The destroyer changes in particular didn't really make destroyers these super tier ships, and oh no, we run into an enemy Shimakaze. I was very close to fully capturing the base without running into an enemy. I pop my smoke, and I notice that, you know what, there's a big island in the way, and we take damage, but it's too late. We fully capture C with probably the assistance of a friendly destroyer. And yes, I complete the process. The cycle is complete. Another game, another Notser pulled, right? It's as predictable as the sun rising, the sun setting, having to breathe, eat, you name it. Yep, get it out there, get all the jokes out, yep. But what else could I do? I don't want to go on the other side of that island. I don't want to be spotted by the enemy and take massive damage. I had to make sure I didn't remain spotted and I wasn't in front of a lot of enemy ships, which I would have been if I took a right instead of a left. It worked out in the end, right? By the time the Shimakaze or whoever sent their torpedoes, I was out of there safely. The acceleration module really is awesome. If I was running rudder shift, perhaps I wasn't able to get out of there in time for these torpedoes. But I am. I'm completely out of there. It was no issue at all. It really doesn't hurt you to come to a complete stop anymore with the acceleration module on your destroyers. So, C is captured, and I'm going to send my torpedoes against this enemy battleship. It looks like it could potentially be a target. There are a higher than average amount of aircraft around the area. It's very dangerous, but that's what a cruiser and a battleship are supposed to do. They're supposed to use their aircraft, and we're scouted out by something, either radar or hydroacoustic. And either one, I'm going to give ground. You can't use smoke. You don't want to fire. You want to give ground whenever you see that icon. Most of the time, they're going to be right on their edge of effective range for the skill. It's just the nature of the beast. You don't want to get too close to a destroyer that is hidden, right? They could ambush you and take you out, especially a Shimakaze. And the culprit, it's a hipper, so he used hydroacoustic. German cruisers cannot use radar. Keep that in mind, and you'll be a better player for that. I'm sure, hey, Notser, everyone knows that. You would be surprised. You would be surprised. And we got a couple enemies, an enemy New Orleans, and whoop, sorry friend. I did, however, get the 2 torpedo systems that I had available out, and we'll see how it works out. Everyone and their brother can see me and are firing on my ship. Boy, you are a brave, brave Japanese destroyer, Kagero. I would not recommend this course of action. He is absolutely insane. If we can hit a torpedo or two, that would be great. The only potential target looks to be the New Orleans. The enemy battleship, he's wise to the tricks. He stops before it's an issue. And the enemy's gonna take that base. There's no way that friendly destroyer has any chance against 3 enemy ships. It's suicidal. It was a waste of his life, and hopefully he can learn from it. But we can't worry about that now. We have to worry about the battleship that's right in front of us. I'm gonna try and give ground. I used my boost. It's my last boost, but I'm outside of detection. The enemy team can no longer see me on the map, and all of their aircraft hovering overhead means nothing. And it is a lot, right? They're not stupid. There is a tier 10 destroyer running around these islands. It's a very tense situation. Any second, they could take torpedoes from my ship, right? So using your aircraft in an obvious ambush spot around an island is key. It's very important, and we lose a friendly on this flank. It's all me on this flank. My team is very strong on the western flank. However, we are down in points and eventually bases. So how do you come back from this? How do you give your team a chance to win when you know the enemy is in hot pursuit? And much like Need for Speed, I have a couple tricks up my sleeve. I have speed, I have the detectability, and I also have smoke. Smoke is very important to cutting off those coppers from knowing my exact location, my intended goal. And it looks like the North Carolina, I'm going to read it as an enemy destroyer is also in pursuit. Yes, indeed. He came back, and I decided, you know what? He's showing a perfect broadside. We cannot give up this opportunity to get a couple points of damage on the target. 2K, not bad. The enemy North Carolina fires on my ship. Good luck with that, buddy. There's no way I would let him hit me. And I continue to try and get a little bit of damage on the Shimakaze. And he's gone, though. He never decided to fire his gun. Until now. Very odd decision making. He's just barely within my range. And the enemy North Carolina is still looking directly at me. So he fires his gun, and I'm going to reorient neutral and turn away. Hopefully we'll be able to avoid it. Yes, indeed, we avoid it. Okay. Now we got to drop off, which we did. Probably the Shimakaze wants to come back and detect us. And maybe he's a little frustrated. He has the same detection as me. I can't keep him detected and remain unspotted. He's going to have to give up some of his health in order to allow his team to do damage to my ship. And honestly, based on my health pool and his health pool, it's in his best interest to do so. If you take out a tier 10 Shimakaze, you've taken a really big asset away from your enemy. And you just can't let him run away like this. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to continue to give ground. Eventually I have to turn back and help my team, right? I'm going to try and take the North Carolina. I'm going to try and ambush him. Clearly, he is detected by me. He has situation awareness on his screen. But I haven't left his detection or come back in. So he's going to be sort of numb to that alert. If you can show just a little bit of patience, and I'm someone who fails miserably at this, then you can find yourself in a position where 3, 4, 5 minutes have gone by, and he's still detected by you. We hit him right on the nose with a single torpedo. It does cause a flood, and it does do 15,000 points of damage. But he knows we're there, exactly. And he is interested in using his gun. When you go under binocular, you're not as aware of your surroundings as you could potentially be. And he gets into a situation where he is going to take damage. Now, of course, he used damage control and he put out the flood, or he fixed the flood. He didn't put out a flood. He fixed the flood. But that was well over 20 seconds at this point, and we set up a perfect broadside. It looks like we're going to get 3 torpedoes for a total of 47,000 points of damage, and we caused a flood. He's going to die. He has no way of repairing the flood. He's just going to slowly die to a dot, and it feels so evil. It worked out perfectly, and it only worked out because he felt comfortable being detected. He wanted to participate in the match, which is very normal for a player. He went into his binocular view and he was less attentive of his surroundings. Now, can we have the same success against the New Orleans? Obviously, the New Orleans knows that I'm in this area. I'm sure the Shimakaze is right on the edge of my detection. I would like to take this guy out before he detects me. 6.5 kilometer range for a New Orleans. That would be a very, very easy kill for him. So I send my torpedoes and I decide, you know what? I want to sort of manipulate him to continue moving in the direction that my torpedoes were sent. So I fire on his ship before the torpedoes are visible. It sort of forces him to open up and he takes the torpedo. Now some players are going, that's confirmation bias. It worked out. You're going to confirm that your strategy worked. But if you noticed, it looked like he wanted to go back to the starboard side, right? He wanted to straighten up and go north. When I fired, he immediately stopped and he was rotating his guns. That tells me that he wanted to engage me. He thought he could engage me. And in doing so, he was set up in the perfect angle to at least take one torpedo. And all we needed was one torpedo, right? I'm going to send against the Hipper. The Hipper was also leaving the safety of that little canal. And it looks bad, right? He's going away. He's attacking a friendly cruiser. I can't really worry about it. I have a Shimakaze on this flank. So I felt like, torpedo's not going to hit. Let's make sure we don't lose this engagement. Every time he fires, I'm going to try and get as neutral as possible. Remember that the Japanese, we did it. We hit the Hipper. Somehow we hit the Hipper. And I was so excited. Focus, focus. I pop my smoke, and remember that the Japanese have most of their gun turrets facing the rear. So using their butt is more aggressive than their bow. And we're moving outside of the smoke rapidly, but hopefully what it has done is it's taken one or two gun cooldowns away from him, and we've been able to bring this back. We're almost at the same health pool as him. He does knock out my propulsion, and I am not running last stand. I have the torpedo rearm, so I have to repair my propulsion, or I'm going to be dead in the water, and here it goes again. Now, we're gaining ground away from him, and because my propulsion is knocked out, it's not looking good, but I am thin as a blade. It's going to be a hard shot for him as well. We're going to both get outside of each other's range, but now with that last salvo, he has less health than I do. And I just need to wait out my damage control. I am being detected by the New Orleans and his aircraft that's left up, and it's a little annoying. I don't quite have the DPS to take it out every single time it comes near me. Now, I'm sure there's a viewer out there. Your AA is on. Just turn it off. No, I want to go back that way. The aircraft is in my way. I want to kill it. I have to kill it. Otherwise, the enemy team will know exactly where I am. And if you notice, the game is not going to last much longer. We need to get some kills. We need to get some base captures. So I can't just play passively the entire game. I actually have to move in and take advantage of the opportunities that are given to me. And the first opportunity that is given to me is the chance to kill this stupid aircraft. Now, should I have clicked on it? Yes, and you will notice sometimes I do, but anytime an aircraft drops off of your detection, you lose that focus fire. For whatever reason, it completely forgets that that is your goal, is to kill that aircraft as it is in the area. And finally we do, or it dies on its own. Whatever, it's gone. Now I can freely go wherever I want. And we don't have much time. I've gotta get going. I have to try and take C, take out the Shimakaze. If nothing else changes, there's probably a minute and a half left in this match, if that. Teammates are trying to take B as I speak, which is great. So I just have to go towards C. And I am so ready for the Shimakaze. Where are you, Shimakaze? You've been hunting me this entire time. He has 0 kills. I don't know how much damage he's done. He has made this entire match kill Notser. And it hasn't worked out for him, right? We've lived 15 minutes. There he is. Okay, well, he went back towards C, and he was right in front of us. Now, his guns are sort of looking at us, and mine are also looking at him. And they hit short. Come on. Come on, we gotta take this guy out. He hasn't fired his guns. Yep, here come torpedoes. It's a very obvious play. Anytime a destroyer is broadside and they haven't fired their guns in an obvious scenario, they're sending their torpedoes. 100%. We're able to avoid it. He sort of spread them out. Maybe he felt like I was going to dodge actively, but I'm one of these players that if you go neutral and you set yourself up for success, then you don't really need to actively be dodging rapidly, right? So he popped his smoke. Is he sitting in his smoke? Is he disappearing to the other side? I don't know, but there's only 25 points left in this match, so we need to get the kill right now. And I fire my gun. It does no damage. Friendly is also in the area. He is firing his gun at the enemy Shimakaze. The Shimakaze is down to 1,400. The enemy team is 13 points from winning this match. Oh, come on. 9 points from the game is over. We got 3 ticks left. 3 ticks and the game's over. 2 ticks. Come on, get this kill. Don't let him get around. Oh, Friendly was able to get a kill. And we're able to get that kill as well. So now it's 3-3. And we should be able to capture C. So we'll have a 2-base-to-1 advantage. Unfortunately, the Friendly Zhao, he's at 2,000 life. And there's not 1, not 2, but all 3 enemy ships are right on top of him. He's down to 743. He gets another kill. He took out the enemy destroyer. Now we have a ship advantage, and I think that's the first time in the match that we have had a ship advantage. So I'm going to try and get back there as quickly as I can. The Zhao, he's going to die. But what it does do is it tells the enemy, we got to get after him, right? We have to chase and try and kill him quickly. Otherwise, he might use a heal. He is a tier 10 cruiser, and tier 10 cruisers definitely have heals. And they're going to use them. So don't underestimate them. Here come the heals. Okay, he's going to send his torpedoes. I don't know where he sent it. He probably sent it to protect his flank. He's up to 3,000, and any second now that battleship, yep, okay, so an enemy ship, enemy battleship, and it's a healthy battleship. Look at that battleship, wow. He hasn't taken any damage. The torpedoes might hit him though. No, the torpedoes are on the other side of the island. The Zhao is up to 6k. I'm going to send my torpedoes against this enemy battleship, and I felt like the Yamato, he's going to sit there, try and capture the base. It's obvious he takes out the Friendly, unfortunately. And now I have to try and keep him at least interested in the area. My torpedoes look to be good, so I decide let's unload on him. We've got to stop this guy. There's not a lot of points left in the match. If he's able to capture B, then we're probably not going to win it. And he is interested in us. More torpedoes were sent his way. I decide, let's pop our smoke. We gotta hide from him, right? And his turret's about 50%, maybe 75% our way. We hit 1 torpedo, 2 torpedoes, 3 torpedoes, 4 torpedoes. We set a fire. This looks great. What? How was I detected so he could acquire me when his gun turrets were in position? And I rewatched it. Almost 5 seconds after the indicator was on screen to when he fired his gun. We did do a devastating strike, 4 kills, 2,034 base XP, over 171,000 points of damage done, and I believe this can no longer happen in 0.5.8. They did something to fix the discrepancy between the situation awareness and when your ship is actually not detected. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.